Right, running back another Turbo Fog League. Pretty much the same list as last time. Trying a third Insight, just to try and make the deck a bit more consistent. Sun is not great. Nothing to do early. Just like leaning on this Insight on 4. I actually kind of want to mull this. It's like looking for so many pieces. For against a control deck, we're really happy with this hand though. This is probably a mulligan. Just want like a Charter Course or a Fog or something. It's really tough because there's like a chunk of matchups where this is a fine hand. If we're against a control deck, I'm very happy with this hand. If we're against like a slow black-green deck, I think this hand is fine too. Oh, whatever. Hate mulliganing. Have no self-control. It loses to red instantly. Game 1 against red is tricky regardless of what you do though. I think you're largely leaning on the post-board games against red. You also just have draw steps, right? You have draw steps to hit the 2 or 3 mana spells. Swamp is not bad for us. Swamp is not bad for us at all. By any means. Tilt. If we were on the play, we'd get to stick the Karn here. Pretty safely. Forest and a Thorn Lieutenant. Ooh, that is a really nice one. It's an excellent draw. Depending on what they play, we might get to Karn Plus. If they don't add enough power and toughness to the board. I think that qualifies as enough power and toughness. Finebroker Thorn Lieutenant is hot, jeez. I'm kind of into that idea, the idea of building black-green that way. Just like only putting good cards in your deck. Nice. I guess it's more efficient to Insight that turn, but kind of like just getting our mana developed here so we can do more with it. Yeah, that is true, Socraster. The lack of interaction with control decks sucks. The fact you can't like play negates or anything like that. Well, that's a decent clock they have going over there. Jeez. Three, 6, 9, 10, 11. They just get to threaten lethals. They force us to Insight into a Fog here. Lieutenant's really interesting. Maybe Lieutenant is the way that you avoid having to play Explore creatures. So we're getting kind of punished running out the gift last turn. If we just Insighted instead, we could have drawn into a sweeper. So it was pretty bad play on my part. Never mind, we're great. Skill game, etc, etc. Nexus. I guess that's going in the yard. Actually, I guess I can draw it. And then I get to, like, rebuy the search trigger and hit my land drops. This is fine. I'm just going to draw that. I get to rebuy a search trigger here with the Nexus. Can hit my land drop, which is nice. I don't know if I want to Nexus upkeep. I don't know if drawing it is good or not. Maybe it's good. Like, I'm probably casting this next turn. I guess if I see a Teferi, 3, 4, 5, cast Teferi plus Teferi, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I'm 1 mana short. I'm going to upkeep Nexus. Oh no, no, I auto-yielded to my search, never mind. This is not the end of the world. Put that in the yard. Put this back in my deck before my draw step. So that I can redraw it. Hit my land drop. So this just gives us the most possible looks at a sweeper, basically. Or a fog. Whilst just developing our mana here. Root Snare is great. I would like a Root Snare, very much so. Now we get to go Karn plus Root Snare. It's not clear that Karn is better than Chemister's Insight here. Chemister's Insight might be better. Because then we can draw into a sweeper too. Like, use our mana more efficiently. We get to fill up our yard for search too. Flip search sooner. Karn is really awkward if they have a Contempt or a Plague Crafter in hand. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Insight. I don't really want to play into, particularly Plague Crafter. I don't want to play into Plague Crafter. We can also hit Teferi this way, which is nice. Cool. I get to Root Snare them. I have some more Nexus rebuys on search triggers. They have to pump the Lieutenant if they want to threaten Leaf or her. Which means they don't get to do anything else with their turn. So that's telling us for 5, 8, 9, 10, 11. Do we just want to take this so we can hold on to the Root Snare and like Insight again? I think we do. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The downside is it makes a sweeper less impactful, but whatever. Seems reasonable to me. That means we get to cast another Insight this turn, which is great. Discard Plains, I guess? Greenseeker's sweet. I think Greenseeker, like, this is actually what I was considering doing with a 2-drop slot at one point. Thorn Lieutenant plus Greenseeker means that you just only have good cards in your deck. Which is, like, a legit approach, I think. Alright, now I want to wait on Nexus, because Teferi lets me immediately cast Nexus. So, I want to wait until draw step, rather than shuffling it back in here. 4, 5, 6, 7, so I get to Charter Course plus Nexus, plus hit my land drop. And that's going to flip Search. Cool. Everything's kind of going great this game, jeez. So again, I just want to wait on Nexus and use my search trigger, I guess. Put this into the, yeah, transform. Now we can Nexus, put it back in the deck for Azcanta. Yeah, I'm just waiting on this because I could draw a Teferi for turn that I'd want to cast, right? So 4, 5, 6, 7. So I might as well activate this first, and then I get to cast my Nexus. Do I want a backup search in case they, like, have been super sitting on Assassin's Trophy? They probably don't have a trophy. It's kind of surprising, but I guess this gives us scries as well. Upkeep scries, which is legit. Interesting. Activate Azcanta. Keep looking for Nexi to keep this going. A Cleansing Nova. That lets them draw so many cards. I think I just want Pause for Reflection instead. Honestly. In your chart course, get down the second Azcanta. The surprise Creeping Chill. We would in fact die to the surprise Creeping Chill. I'm not gonna cast my Karn yet. They're clearly holding up Contempt, so we just lose the Karn anyway. I'd rather they Contempt Teferi, because it makes it considerably easier for us to kill them if the Karn doesn't get Contempted. Here's the Creeping Chill. 4 mana. We're dead. Oh. They get to kill our Search, I guess. Our Scry Engine. It is exceedingly fun raining tears. Don't know what would ever make you think otherwise. Yeah. Get rid of our Scries. Understandable. Let's try and like lower our consistency that tiny bit. Oh, I wish I kept that Creeping Chill. I wish I kept that Creeping Chill. It'd be so funny here. Punish them for playing around Settle, but... Or Uncomfortable Chill, I mean. Alright, activate Azcanta. Find this Teferi. Cast this Teferi, plus this Teferi, draw a Nexus of Fate. Easy GG. Oh my god. Look at us. Oh my gosh. Aren't we just such skillful magicians? Aren't we just such incredibly skillful magicians drawing the Nexus of Fate? Teferi. Activate our Azcanta. Grab this Nexus of Fate. They indeed do not have Contempt up, which is delightful. Can we cast Karn this turn? We can. Sick. Hopefully they don't have an Assassin's Trophy. That would make my life miserable. I assume they would have used it by this point. This is your favourite deck on the whole planet. I kind of adore it. Kind of adore it, not gonna lie. Whew. Alright, I tend not to board much in these matchups. I'm never sure quite how much to board in these matchups, but... Cleansing Nova is not great against the plague things, except when you randomly kill them, I guess, which is improbable. Negate for Contempts and Trophies. Yeah, Negates seem reasonable. Got to establish dominance of the Night of Autumns. Thing is, most lists only play like one Spyglass on the side maximum. And even lots of lists just don't even play that one. So I don't think I want the Knights. Negate seems not terrible though. I mean, we could bring in an Archaeologist or two. I think these are not not the worst. But I don't think I'm going to bring them in. Is Chill worth it? Chill is not great against them, but I kind of want to cut the Cleansing Novas, and I don't want to go too low on Fog effects. Because Cleansing Novas are really awkward against the Reaper, because they just get to draw like 5 cards towards another Duress, which I'm not in love with. And maybe this card's still good, but I suspect it's like too awkward. I'm just going to run something very close to our main deck. I could see a world in which we want Mystic Archaeologists to like overpower Duresses, but yeah, the only card that actually beats me is Trophies and Contempts. I imagine that is generally how games play out. Duresses are like decent against us, but alright. This is an awkward hand. We're playing against the Duress deck, so I'm going to keep this. They're also just like slow, so we don't need perfect hands. I just don't want to like mulligan against Duress. Gabrov, thank you so much. 2nd month free sub. 2nd month of being a Knight of Autumn. 1 month away from having your shield to defend the realm with. Thank you so much for the continued support. It means a lot. Bye bye to Teferi. You will be missed. You'll be missed dearly, friend. Also, I would love an untapped land next turn. So much. Untapped land would be dreamy. Oh my gosh. Seeing the shower of hearts in chat always makes me so happy. Playing the Guildgate deck again, apparently. Apparently that's what's happening, Zacrasta. Vraska. That's a beating. Vraska is good against Gift, but I guess they're just ditching her apparently. Nope. Why would we put untapped lands in our deck? That would be silly. That would be ridiculous. Gift is definitely pretty awkward against the like 3x Vraska Golgari Queen deck. I think we still want it. It's so powerful. Only 4. It doesn't hurt that much. The main thing that hurts is not having cycle lands. But right, so we cast the Gift, and then they just get to minus Vraska on the Gift and break our heart. I mean, I'm still gonna do it, but like, it means they don't get to draw a card at least. And gains us free life. Could, like, potentially change the maths. Next time we get to start drawing too. That Green Seeker has looked amazing. It's drawn like 2 cards so far. Drawn them 2 cards closer to more Duresses. Whoa. That's an aggro Eldest Reborn. Jeez. I'm gonna Karn plus here. I think. think that seems reasonable. Now that the Eldest Reborn is in play. Just like soak up some damage here. Hope they don't have a second Reborn. What am I discarding? Probably Charter Course. It's like Charter Course or Root Snare. I guess we can discard a Root Snare. We don't have that many Root Snares in the deck, right? Like, because we took out the sweepers, but I think the Charter Course is helpful for digging towards Teferis. Please not another Eldest Reborn. Jeez. That's brutal. They're going to get a Karn and a Teferi of their own. They kind of have Fresher. These things are going to kill us, Prodigy. Yeah, they've gone really large. It's kind of surprising quite how large they've gone. We bricked on the land drop too. Yeah, I feel pretty dead right now. Discarding a Gift of Paradise, I guess. Since they're just like never going to survive through Vraska minuses anyway. Guess. I guess we had to keep one gift through Vraska minuses, but I don't know. Greenseeker for the win. Greenseeker's doing solid work for our opponent, digging them towards more disruption. Maybe Greenseeker is the 2-drop you want in that deck. Greenseeker and Lieutenant. Maybe our opponents just broke it. And you just play Jade Light, because Jade Light is like the good explore creature. Super Friends. We're going full 4 Negate. I think I'm boarding in the 3rd Negate. Yeah, I don't see how we ever win this. Mainly because of this like the Vraskas killing our gifts. It means we can't like sneakily go to Teferi into Nexus at any point. Even I'm just gonna move on to the next game. There are like games of this deck where you're like this far behind, but you can like threaten to go gift into like Teferi plus Nexus and take over the game. But the fact they have 2 Vraskas in play means that's just never happening. They're just always gonna be able to kill the gifts there. Guess we want another Negate. Archaeologist seems really bad if they're on the Eldest Reborn plan. Might be better than this Uncomfortable Chill though, based on how that game went. Just like board really low on fogs. Like pass with Archaeologist mana and Negate mana up. So that you can like threaten to negate their thing or draw cards. Don't know that the Archaeologist is actually any good here, but I'm going to bring it in. Chill probably better than the 3 mana fog. That could be legitimate. Could see that being the case. Could have like a split maybe. Hopefully our draw comes comes together a bit more this game. I think we'd have struggled that game regardless, even if our draw had come together a bit more, but they had a decent amount of disruption. I mean, I'm keeping this hand again. Like, I'm not mulliganing this. Obviously it's awkward, but maybe we do just want some Evolving Wilds in this deck. I saw people playing Evolving Wilds. It might make sense over some of these buddy lands, just so you get like less hands like this. Just put 2 Evolving Wilds in the list. Over like Sunpetal Groves, since Sunpetal Groves are the worst land. I actually haven't had that many hands like this. Like, I feel like this has happened to me maybe like 4 times with the deck. And it just happens that 2 of them have been in a row, which has been really awkward. But maybe we do just want some Evolving Wilds over Sunpetal Groves, since Grove is the worst land. Alright, Lieutenant is A-okay with me. Fire off this Charter Course. I almost want to discard an Insight. Maybe I do just discard Charter Course though. Like, I like the efficiency on Charter Course. Maybe we should just be playing Guild Gates if all our lands are coming into tapped anyway. Oh my god, Dokamoy. Jeez. I don't know. I'm not convinced that discarding Charter Course here is actually correct, but I'm going to play the tap land so that they don't know that we have untapped mana next turn. If we play the planes out, it makes it very obvious to them that we do. They can, like, maybe alter their plays accordingly. It's kind of unlikely, but there's no reason to give them the info that I can think of. Jade Light Ranger. It's pretty good against this Teferi. Means they can threaten him quite well. Alright, this is passive Insight up. Draw 2. Try and dig towards a Root Snare to protect Teferi with. They should actually look at what they saw off the Jade Light. They saw a land and another Lieutenant, which they bend. Okay. The rest. Alright, so I let this resolve rather than casting my Insight, since they're taking the Teferi anyway, and this gives them less info. They are giving us a lot of time to set up, but I don't know. I'm not convinced it's actually looking good for us right now, losing the other Teferi. Like, we only have 2 Teferis left in our deck now. It's going to make things really, really challenging for us. Like, I honestly think we're very far behind at the moment. As they kill us in 2 hits here. This is definitely a matchup where Settle looks better than Cleansing Nova. I ended up taking out all the Settles because they just felt so much worse in so many matchups, especially with like Shalai everywhere. But in this matchup specifically, we don't want to Nova because we just like let them draw into more disruption. Whereas we're pretty happy to settle them. I mean, it doesn't do that much, but it keeps us alive for a turn, I guess. Really? I thought the black-green deck was pretty good against the red decks when we were playing it. It felt okay against the red decks. Like, you block their creatures pretty well, or kill the creatures. And force them into top deck mode, trying to like top deck enough burn before you clock them. Alright, we need to run really hot here. We need to run like unreasonably hot here. I mean, that's another land drop. So I guess I'll take it. Each Nexus we draw is another land drop, right? Let's go upkeep Nexus so we can draw it for the turn. If you play Walker and explore creatures, yeah, the Walker package seems absurd against red. I completely agree with that, for sure. I'm going to shuffle this back into my deck before drawing, so we can maybe redraw it, hit another land drop, keep going deeper. Negate looking hot garbage this game, okay. Understood. Could have been an anticipate, maybe? So I have to insight here to get the most looks. I have to Teferi, hope to hit Root Snare. So we're like, what, 8% to still be alive? Rip. I guess they're gonna, we should make them attack, but they're probably gonna be smart and attack us instead of Teferi. This game was kind of rough. It's like keeping a few more fogs for game 2, and they're on the all disruption plan where we really wanted negates. Bought out a couple more fogs for game 3, and they're on the all creatures plan, where fogs would have been awesome. Alright. They have duressed almost every single Teferi. That is true. They had like 2 duresses per game, but that's reasonable. They have 4 on the board. They're going to draw 2 duresses in like a decent quantity of post-board games. Schultz with the big cheer, overtaking Trampoline. Thanks for the cheers, Schultz. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Someone was briefly ahead of you in the leaderboard. Doesn't tend to last for long. Alright. Let's just face some tokens, please. Oh, this hand is amazing. This hand is very good. Search into gift, just like the dream. Ooh, sick, Schultz. Well done. Is this mono blue? Please don't be mono blue. The real reason I stopped playing Fog is the last time we played it, we faced mono blue 2 rounds in a row, and the matchup is stone unwinnable. Like, this deck is so popular online, and this deck is just 0% against it. I'm gonna keep the Nova. Like, resolving a Nova feels like one of the only ways you actually win these games. Bit leader is much more rewarding. Hey, I'm happy either way. I'm not complaining. Comes the Trickster. Oh my god, they're tapping out. What the hell? What's happening? We're running... Ooh. 2 months of your tier 1 nonsense. Thank you so much, Vex, the resub. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. 1 month away from a shield. Thank you for continuing to be a Knight of Autumn. You are great. I'm gonna keep this on top. It's a nice follow-up to the Nova. Digs for something impactful here. Opponent scooping. No, just lagging. Cool. Take that. Somehow we seem to be alive. I don't know how, but somehow we seem to be alive. Oh, we can double charter course this like turbo fuel Azcanta. That sounds great. Thanks for the cheers, Phil. Appreciate you. Subbing increases your chance of opening Knight of Autumn in draft. I can neither confirm nor deny that, but that is probably the case. How does the mono blue deck do anything against anyone? Is the real question. That's the real question. Honestly, the mono blue deck eats control alive as well. But I don't know how it ever beats red in a million years. I have to imagine it just like curls up and dies against the red decks. I had a lot of Knights of Autumn like message me photos of foil Knight of Autumns they opened at their pre-release. It was just like, it's clearly fate. It's clearly meant to be. I'm just going to fire up this Root Snare, because it means we can flip Azcanta next turn. It's like an aggressive Root Snare, but it stops them drawing a card, so I think it's fine. Yeah, now we get to flip this. So we can go like draw 2, activate Azcanta if we want. We also just play our land drop, cast Nexus. Then they probably just counter the Nexus. I feel kind of sad. I think I'm just going to pass the turn. Start like drawing 2 to hit land drops, Azcantering to hit spells, try and overpower their counter magic somehow. It's like really unlikely we win this game, but we're kind of getting somewhere. Just gonna let them hit me here. Take 3. Hope they don't have too much disruption in their hand. Wow, they missed the land drop? That's terrifying. That is actively terrifying. I think I still want to draw 2 and activate Azcanta still. Instead of like Nexusing to get a counter spell out of the way, I just want to hit my land drops so I can like try and double spell eventually. How does that lose against a blue deck? They are not a normal blue deck. Alas. Let's get to activate Azcanta, draw 2 again, I guess. A reasonable plan here. Alright, I'm gonna actually draw 2 now. I know, I guess I'm gonna activate Azcanta now. If I find a fog, I think I'm just going to fire it off. Teferi, sure. We're going to take 3, and then we're going to draw 2 and end step. Discarding the backup Azcanta. Things that aren't a fog include, but are not limited to. Alright. Gift of Paradise is great. What am I doing here? I can 3 mana gift this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Activate Azcanta, cycle chill, maybe. I definitely just want to keep developing my mana as much as possible, so I can start casting multiple spells in a turn. So there's 3 mana to activate this, then we have 1, 2, 3 to cycle this, so I can just get down my Temple Garden tapped. I could also just activate now in case I find a draw 2, because then I'd want to play the basic. Alright. Get our tapped land down. Is mono blue aggro even playable? It seemed decent. Like, I've been playing it on Arena in the evenings to relax, and I've been enjoying it. It's just very bad against the red decks is the main problem. It's like particularly bad against the red decks, but it feels fine against everything else, more or less. It beats up on control and nonsense like fog really well. So many cards. At some point we have to start trying to resolve stuff. How's it do versus green-white? I do not... It's like reasonable versus green-white. It isn't... It's like kind of close. So their hand just counts as probably, yeah. That seems likely. So you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm just going to activate this, and then probably pass the turn, try and Nexus in their turn. Reasonable. Yeah, we can go for end step Nexus here. Force a counter out of them. It's like kind of unfortunate that they get to Spell Pierce it, I guess, but honestly, the Spell Pierce is probably going to be good at some point regardless. If they have any more creatures in hand, it's kind of weird they would be playing them out. Like, they don't need to hold up that much mana open to stop us going off, right? Maybe they just figure they can never lose as long as they have the Trickster in play, though. Which is probably true. Yeah, they have to counter this. Otherwise we just start trying to like loop them with Azcanta and like generate value, hitting land drops, etc. I could try 3 Must Answer Threats. I could. I'm tempted to just run back the same plan this turn and just Nexus in their turn again. I think that's kind of appealing to me. And once we run out of Nexuses, then we try and... Oh my god, they're exiling a Nexus. That is so absurd. Jeez. I mean, they just lose the... If a Chain Whirler ever resolves, they lose the game K. Has been my experience. Like, they can just not beat a Goblin Chain Whirler very easily. And, like, you end up in these races where, like, one deck has burn spells and the other doesn't. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I'm just running back the Nexus in their turn plan. Yeah. And then, like, next turn I can try and go for some Planeswalkers. I think this turn they just aren't going to resolve. Why not go for it now? Because this way we get to tap them out of some mana at least. Which is, like, kind of worth something. Alright, so we get to go Nexus, activate Azcanta here. They're casting a Djinn to try and represent lethal for next turn. I guess it doesn't quite represent lethal, it comes close. No, it does represent lethal. Yeah, it's just super lethal. I'm being stupid. Can't count. I could do that. That gives them info on what I'm gonna do with my turn, which is not ideal, but maybe you're right, Prodigy. So they have 3 retorts we lose, but otherwise we stand a chance. Wow, it just resolved. Right, we really want another Nexus here. Another Nexus would give us a very good shot. Root Snare, sure. It's actually not terrible. Okay. So the Teferi's getting countered, but I'm still just going to do it anyway, I guess. We need to eat through the counters somehow. Maybe I lead with Azcanta. It makes Spell Pierce live is the problem if I do things that way. But it means we can look for another Nexus. Yeah, you think we lead with Teferi? I think I agree. This forces a counter. Oh wow, it doesn't force a counter? That's really surprising. So I'm going to start by drawing a card here. They might just not have counters. That seems really improbable though. We shall see. Cast Karn. Maybe they're holding 7 islands. I mean, looks like the most likely option at the moment. Maybe they just have nothing. Well, we found a Nexus. We're great. Maybe they only have Syncopates. Oh my god. Activate Azcanta. They do realize they let a Nexus resolve, right? What are they doing here? They're blinking the Karn, sure. Oh, because now they can counter the Karn to stop us getting the Nexus. That's smart. Kinda. Like, leave a Nexus permanently exiled. So that we only have 2. Yep. Let's anticipate, I guess. Discard. Chill. Insight. Right. If we cast the Karn, it probably gets countered. But that gets the counter out of their hand. Which is still worth something to us. Resolved. -1. Grab this Nexus. I would like to cast this Nexus, please. Alright, this is getting the counter out of them. So now if we draw a Nexus, we have a chance. Alright, so we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so we cannot Nexus anymore. So I guess I'm passing the turn and like hoping the Root Snares can get there. Hoping that the like double Root Snare is enough to somehow save us. They need 2 retorts. Resolved. That's pretty great. Somehow, some way. The good news is, it's looking like we're going to win this game. The bad news is, post-board things get even tougher, because they bring in, like, negates and disdainful strokes. But I'm still going to be pretty happy if we somehow manage to win this game. I don't really understand what's in their hand, Caius. Could not tell you. I mean, they have to attack or they lose the obsession. Milkman. If they don't attack, they lose obsession. Nexus is great. My upkeep. Going to cast my Nexus. Cool. So I think this means that we probably win this game. Thank God. I'm a fan of winning this game. Can confirm. Right, activate Azcanta. Grab this Nexus. Cast our backup Azcanta. So we can start scrying. I'm actually just going to activate Azcanta rather than casting my Nexus. I don't want to get this syncopated. Yeah, I would be kind of surprised if they had a syncopate in hand, I guess, but whatever. Nothing really matters at this point. I think we're basically a lock to win this. Sick. Discard Teferi and random unnecessary fog. I should have upkeeped this. It doesn't matter though. We can't actually whiff anymore. Doesn't actually matter. Yeah, the Karn kills them, game 1. We make artifacts to kill them with. Alright, well... somehow won a game in our worst matchup. See if we can somehow win the match. Winning the match involves them mulliganing to 4 in a post-board game. But it's hypothetically possible. So... that's what the Teferi ultimate does, okay? You just ultimate your Teferi and exile their board. You can also just make these infinitely large because you take an arbitrary number of turns. You can just make the tokens as big as they need to be. Being uncomfortable chill is secretly bad against them. Weirdly. Seems like it should be good, but the only creatures that matter are the obsessioned ones, and this very rarely stops an obsession hit. I'll just throw something like this, I think. Knight is very good against obsession. I just don't know how we make room for it is the problem. Like, the games about obsession are, like, eminently winnable. Why Lyra? I guess Lyra runs into Wizard's Retort pretty badly, that's fair. I kind of figure that if you ever resolve a Lyra, they can no longer win. But... whereas, like, if you ever resolve a Teferi, they're still very capable of winning. Yeah, they bring in Disdainful Strokes and Negates. Lyra's good against Negate and Spell Pierce, even if she's really bad against Retort. I think I want the Lyras. I just think Lyra is a way to, like, randomly win games. Winning games in this matchup is not easy. I honestly have no idea what we're even meant to board out. We kind of need everything in differing amounts. She also punishes them all to 4. That is very true. Don't know what to cut. I'm just going to cut an Insight. The Insights were kind of great for us that game, but they like let us go toe-to-toe on card quantity with them. They're good at overpowering counter magic, but... Right, I'm going to keep this hand. They did not mull to 5. Orc. Hey, Amy. I'm pretty down on just, like, ever cutting Search. Search is just so good in the deck. I think Search is secretly your best win con instead of Teferi. You just, like, can't play 4 copies because the Legend Rule hurts a lot more than it does with Teferi. Turbo Fog, I know, right? I was goaded into another league. I do love me some Turbo Fog, though. Now I get to hold up Negate for Obsession. Dreamy. Incoming Trickster. Nope. They're not pressuring Russ very much at the moment. I'm kind of okay with that. Taming those storms. Those storms are so tame right now. Yeah, this is a combo deck, not a control deck. How did the other decks do today? Good question. We played... Kinda just want to hold open the gate, is that crazy? For their obsession. They aren't actually pressuring us very much at the moment. How did the other decks do today? We played a couple different black-green lists. We went 1-3 with one of them, and then 3-2 with the other. So, like, very medium results for 2 pretty medium decks. Honestly, I liked a lot of the stuff going on in the black-green decks, though. I'm probably going to play some more of them. Alright, that's a very good draw. We're running out our gift. I kind of feel like it just gets countered. I might just chart a course to hit my land drop here for next turn. Then I can go gift plus land drop next turn. Right. Guess I'm getting rid of the third gift of paradise. I didn't realise that was an actual deck fill. I've never seen that deck before. I guess it was a bit before my time, but that sounds sweet. Land is great. I do love drawing a land. Alright, let's build up this mana a bit. Start time walking them for the life gain. If they want to counter this, that's like pretty okay with me. They're just not pressuring us very much right now. I guess they probably just have 4 counter spells in hand, so we can probably never win, but kind of feeling okay at the moment. Kind of feeling okay at the moment. What is this? Sync of Fate for 1 million? Alright, that's fine. Sure. Yeah, that is an enthusiastic deal. Ooh, that ups their clock a bit. We found the prize. We have found the prize. Ooh. Yeah, they somehow didn't have an obsession in their starting hand. Am I just jamming Teferi? Do I just like start jamming Teferis and hope to draw my 7th land in time to do Lyra with Negate backup? I think I do. Like start breaking through this counter magic. Retort. Syncopate. Syncopate. Deal. Didn't care about that Teferi anyway. They do have blink of an eye, but I mean, we have to do something, right? Cool. So now if we draw a land, we get to go Lyra with Negate backup, and like cross our fingers that that's good enough. Damn. I'm just gonna do this turn. Double spell here. Search can help hit for the land for the Lyra turn. What do I think of mono blue? I think the deck's reasonable. I think it's pretty bad against mono red, but I think it's like a very playable deck. I don't begrudge anyone for choosing to play it. Blink of an eye? Sure. Oh my god, they have the stupid obsession art now that I've played my knight. That's so brutal. Of course they draw it right after we play the knight out. Land, thank you. Thank you, deck. Alright, please don't have 2 counters. Please don't have 2 counters. Or a Trickster. Trickster's also good, I guess. I guess Trickster's also just like wildly unbeatable in this spot. Is the Lyra good enough? Maybe. Like, they can still draw a Trickster here, and then they have a good shot at winning this, but nice. Alright, let's start attacking. Start racing this Mistcloaked Herald here. Deal. Am I, Blink plus Counterspell? I guess that's an out too, yeah. End of turn Nexus. That's what I'm wondering. If we Nexus in our turn or in their upkeep. I'm not like 100% on when is better. If they had Blink, we'd be dead. Kaya, they'd have. I guess we wouldn't be dead because they could have drawn it off the Mistcloaked Herald. That's fair. You can't sack to stop the damage. No, it needs to counter something. Right, when are we doing this Nexus? I think I'm doing it in their turn to pressure their mana. I think. Opponent's upkeep. Yeah. It's possible they play something I want to negate, but I think I'm doing it on opponent's end step. I'm really unsure on the timing, though. Like, end step doesn't play around them drawing the counter magic. But I feel like they already have counter magic in hand the way this is going. What could I want to negate? Another Obsession? I think I will happily negate another Obsession, right? I think this is something I want to negate. I just, like, can't afford to let them draw more cards. They draw a Trickster. They're not holding back. They held back a Storm Tamer last turn. I guess they might already have a blocker. Hopefully they don't have Trickster. Trickster would be wildly unbeatable here. Get to tap down my Lyra. Okay, Warkite gets to block, I guess. If they want to do that. Would have loved the land for the double spell. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we like barely survive. Guess I'm running these attacks though. Right, am I Nexusing or Inciting? Nexus, like, potentially wins the game if they have nothing. Insight is better if they have stuff, because we can, like, dig for land drops. Set up the search flip next turn. Pretty sure we have the Nexus now. You might be right. You might be right. Like, if it resolves, we probably win. It plays into Syncopate and Spell Pierce pretty bad, but they've already played 2 Syncopates. Now we'll lose anyway. I mean, 4, 5, 6, 7. We only go to 1. Well, they get to see 2 more cards. We get to see some cards too, though, to find, like, Counter Magic and Fogs. Like, this can also just find a Root Snare. Is the thing. Like, the Chemister's Insight can just, like, find Root Snares, which are, like, very similar to Nexus in this position. They have a counter. Oh my god, it resolved. Whoa! Everyone who said Nexus is a genius. Everyone who said Nexus, feel proud. Woo! Alright, now we get to Nexus plus Azcanta. Jeez. Might actually get there. We might beat Mono Blue for the first time on this stream ever with any deck. Actually, that's not true. We beat it with green-white tokens and black-green a bunch, but first time ever with this deck. Who criticized me bringing in the Lyra? Show yourself. Show yourself. I'd like a word with you. Raise his hand. No worries, Prodigy. So I want to find a Teferi to try and kill them, right? Let's look for a Teferi here for lethal. I guess a Root Snare isn't bad either. Rawr. Oh my god, we might actually win this. And by we might actually win this, I mean it seems incredibly probable. Overwhelmingly probable, in fact. Cleansing Nova to show we no longer fear them. That is a Tempest Djinn. That is a blocker for Lyra, in fact. Ooh, 2 blockers for Lyra. Scary. Come on, Shame Scoop. Shame Scoop. Please. Backup Lyra, of course. Alright. You just missed them not attacking and sacrificing their Curious Obsession. It was great. It was truly delightful. Truly. Oh my god, I never dreamed of the day I'd actually beat this deck for once. I didn't think it was possible. We have to tuck a Jin, do we? We're on 23. I think we're fine. Root Snare. Oh, for the double block. That's fair. With the backup Lyra, you're right that we probably should have tucked a Jin though. Whatever, doesn't really matter. Oh my god, that feeling when you actually beat the stupid mono blue deck for the first time in your life. Such a good feeling. Things we are doing. It. That is on the list. Somewhere on the list. Yeah, they could have tucked. Yeah. They could have sacked Storm Tamer. You're right. You're right, Milkman. 100%. Now we get to tuck a Tempest Jin, though. If we wish. When you get to the point that nothing really matters. That's a good point. They're making a Lyra of their own. That's adorable. I love that. Alright. Let's activate this Azcanta. Grab this Nexus. Hey. What do you know? I was right. I was right all along. I guess I just get like plus Teferi now. I could minus on this, get one Jin out the way. Whatever. Drawing cards is great. Playing cards at random, A+. Oh yeah, lots of lists have been playing this, for some reason. For some reason, lots of lists have been playing that card. It's actually looked pretty decent whenever I've seen it cast, honestly. It's like looked like a surprisingly reasonable Magic card every time it's been cast against me. Alright, attack with my Lyra, cast the backup Lyra. Feel great about my life. Rar. Remember that time when we went to 2? Baneslayer Angel remembers. It was a good time. It was a good time. I mean, kind of shrug, but I guess. Oh, now they get to ping Teferi to stop us having lethal. I'm silly. How can we ever win? Root Snared after first strike. Oh my god, Karn Father, you're right. That's beautiful. I didn't see that. That is A+. That is A+ line. I mean, I guess that's technically a lethal creature. Take this Nexus of Fate. Cast this Nexus of Fate. Yeah, you can do that. You can let first strike damage resolve and then fog. It's the same thing blue-white control was doing. They used to block with their Lyra, gain life, and then cast Settle the Wreckage after first strike damage. It's exactly the same trick. Alright. Well, we have a whole 2.5 minutes left. It'd be rude not to use them. I'm joking, I'm just gonna attack. I'm being silly. Today you learned. Yeah, it's really sweet. In fact, you even got to do it against... The old trick was like, you'd block their Hazoret with your Lyra, gain 5. They'd be like, why are you blocking? And then you'd settle the wreckage the Hazoret after first strike damage, and they'd wilt up in despair. It was awesome. Oh my gosh, we beat Mono Blue. What the hell? Right, I'm gonna go get some water, and then we're gonna continue getting spectacularly lucky, as we are prone to doing. Alright. 10 out of 10 Mew. I'll take it. That's a great score. That's a great score. Oh my god, we actually... Does this mean I'm not allowed to call the Mono Blue matchup unwinnable anymore? It's just like 10% instead of 0% now. Eminently winnable. Eminently winnable. 10 out of 10 is not quite perfect, but getting there. I don't think that's how ratings out of 10 work, Caius. I'm not convinced that's how ratings out of 10 work. You're 2-0 against it with Fog? Seriously? That's sick. I wish I was 2-0 against Mono Blue. That's true, Amy. They didn't actually, like, connect and attack with us for the rest of the game, so it didn't make a difference. But it was kind of great that they did that for us. Alright. We beat Mono Blue and we're on the play? What is it like? What is it like? This one seems decent. In that it has a charter course, some card draw. Find everything we want. We're on the play too, so we have a bit of time to get away with keeping cards like these. I've been really happy with the extra insight. Insight is just like such a good card. Keep a Rooney but not a Sneep. I feel like it's a Sneep. It's like, you're not enthusiastic about the Sneep, but there's no world in which you ever consider mulliganing this. How many insight am I on? I've got 3 at the moment. Opponent has disconnected. Okay, well, might be about to be 2 and 1. Oh yeah, I'm currently on 3 copies. We had 2 for the longest time. I just found there were too many games where I was like running out of gas. And insight is the single best card to help with that, outside of like more Azcantas. But you can't really play a 4th Azcanta. Insight is just so good when you're running out of gas. Just like digs through 4 cards on its own. If I tried out the 1000-Year Storm deck, I have not. That deck looks like quite delightful though. You've like the mission briefing in the gas slot just as a flexible card, that's fair. Do you mind shipping me your list at some point, Caius? I'd be interested to see it. Just wanting to something a sec. Awesome. I'll be interested to see it, Caius. Like, I think mission briefing does not sound terrible in the deck by any means. It's nice that just like the choice between a fog or a draw spell seems really reasonable. Reaching the point in the game where it can either be like an anticipate or charter course to find what you need, or it can be a fog so you don't die. It makes like your Azcanta hits way better as a result. It also just fuels Azcanta. Like turn 5 mission briefing into fog, and then you like are 3 cards closer to Azcanta flipping. Maybe I was underrating the card. You have to play a lot more blue mana for it, which is awkward, but I mean, Gift of Paradise lets you cast it on its own, so. And blue mana is already the color you like want most of, regardless, because of like the Negate games post board. Alright, I'm excited to be 2 and 1. So yeah, I think the plans for tomorrow currently, I'm gonna play some more black-green tomorrow. I might try out Gab's list again, because he's obviously crushing with it. Even if I did pretty poorly today. I like threw a match with it today, so we could definitely have done better. Then I'll probably try out a more normal black-green list without Menagerie. And then I think I'm going to play some Jeskai Control. Ooh, I do have the Naya list I have to play at some point too. I think it was, yeah, it was Michael Benson donated for a Naya deck at some point. So I need to brew that up. That should probably be tomorrow. It's like Wednesday today. I was thinking of doing draft on Friday. Yeah, I'll see if I can do the Naya deck tomorrow. And if we have time, we can do Jeskai as well. I do want to try out Jeskai Control, it seems sweet. Saute midrange also seems kind of appealing. I've heard like good things about that sort of deck. Opponent back right on time. Ooh, could be the mirror. This is awkward. I think I'm ditching a gift. Yeah, I kind of want everything else. Come on, green source. Not Sunpetal Grove. Just been a Nexus. I don't know. I kind of have like having a Nexus saved up, but this is really awkward. I would really like any land next turn now. Untapped land, please. Anything bar Sunpetal Grove. Absent Knights, yeah, that's the most likely thing, for sure. I guess we're going to regret ditching the second gift if they have a Knight of Autumn in hand here. Oh my god, the tilt is real. The worst thing is we can't even go to Teferi plus next turn because we have Pause for Reflection instead of Root Snare. Come on, give me something nice. Nope. Not like this. Not like this. I want to scream. This is so stupid. Okay. What am I doing? I don't want to discard a Nexus, because that slows down my Azcanta flipping. One land. I guess we've had 2 lands in the top 10, just like neither of them have been green. Get rid of a Pause. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is what I'm thinking. Like, I want the Azcanta to flip quickly. If I discard a Nexus, that doesn't happen. Alright, come on. Greenland, off the top. Make this easy, please. Please don't Night of Autumn me. How can we ever defeat a 4-mana 2/2? I mean, they have a 3-turn clock in play, and we are fumbling. So they got back Jade Light Ranger with their find. This is going to be the most embarrassing game to lose if we lose this. Yes, put that in the graveyard. Land. Land. I will take a Sunpetal Grove, Dokamai. I will happily take a Sunpetal Grove. Am I drawing 2 to hit my land drop? I think I'm drawing 2. Why they pitch Chill? Because they're going to attack us. And then the Chill's not going to do anything. Because they're, like, they're going to put us to 4. And then, if the Jade Light Ranger becomes a 4/3, the Chill doesn't stop us dying regardless. Face when your deck hates me. I mean, feels that way right now. Feels that way. So we're discarding Insight Azcanta, right? I think. If they draw a Knight of Autumn for our first Azcanta, that's just like bad beats. But I think we need running Nexuses to actually, like, get back in this game. Chill would have drawn me a card. The Insight drew me 2 cards. Drew me 2 cards deeper towards a land. Like, I wanted to hit my land drop that turn, Prodigy. So I want to draw 2. Like, hitting our land drop that turn is just, like, really good for us. You're no longer interested in taking lessons on top decking. You mean the 2 lands, both non-green, in the top 14 cards doesn't appeal to you? Whoa, they ditched a Knight of Autumn. I guess the Azcanta's flipping, right? So Knight actually doesn't do anything here. Oh my god, please, show me a green land that is not a stupid Sunpetal Grove. Please. Please, please, please. Thank you. I'll take it. Deal. Sign me up. We lose our Scry Engine this way, but I'm going to flip this now so that they can't Knight of Autumn it if they draw a Knight of Autumn. Woo! Oh. I'm stupid. Why did I play that? Why did I shock myself? I should have drawn a card first. I'm really dumb. Ignore me. I don't know what I'm doing, clearly. I mean, now I can cast the Pause for Reflection, but I could have drawn like this, right? There was no need to shock myself. If we somehow lose by exactly 2 life, then feel free to shout at me. Moto's trying to make things more interesting. I mean, it's succeeding. I'm at playing cards at random point. I was just really excited, Caius. I was really excited to draw a green land, okay? Going to play Siege Rhino Vampire, Jesus. No, my Teferi. Alright. I really hope they don't have another Contempt. Then things get tricky. Then things get pretty tricky for us. But I guess I'm just gonna do this. If Settle was 3 mana, oh my god. It's already miserable enough as it is. Settle the Wreckage. Look at all these green lands. Just clumped together. Didn't shuffle well enough. You know? Didn't shuffle well enough. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Who knew I had green lands in the deck? I didn't misbuild my deck as it happens. And they die. Thank you. I guess they could have an Assassin's Trophy. I feel like they'd have killed... I guess they didn't want to kill the Azcanta because it would fix us, huh? That makes sense. Well then. Well then. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I guess I just fire off this Nexus and get my Scry Engine down. So I can upkeep Nexus here. It's pretty bad if I find a Teferi though, so I don't... I guess I'm just going to upkeep Nexus. Shuffle it into the deck before the trigger. And then I get to activate my Azcanta this turn. Cleansing Nova. That is a good magic card, as it happens. I'll take this Nexus of Fate. So every Nexus we hit gets us at least one card further through the deck. Potentially two because of the Azcanta. That's like a reasonable one, but I think I'm just going to ditch it. Thin a non-Nexus card out of my deck since my mana's like a bit constrained here. Thank you. God, Azcanta is so good. Azcanta is secretly way better than Teferi. It's like actually unreal how good Azcanta is in this deck. Those are the green lands we were looking for earlier. Alright. I'm actually gonna keep this one, I think. Oh, we want a land so we can Wrath plus Nexus, that's true. Yeah. Right, I can start with Azcanta. So it gives us the most looks at a Nexus. Alright, take the Teferi, I guess. And I can go Teferi plus Fog. I guess I can still chart into Nexus plus land. And if I miss, I just go Teferi plus Fog. Gross. This. The fogs are good enough. Nice. Mission briefings make these situations better? Yeah, they do. I bet. Agreed. Alright, well, they might have another Assassin's Trophy or Contempt. But at the moment, we're about to just start going off with Azcanta. Like, we don't need Teferis at this point. Just go off with Azcanta and kill them with Karn. Contempt. Deal. You find broker for knight. I actually kind of like the idea of mission briefings. I might try them out. They actually sound, like, not terrible to me. Alright, so we're going to upkeep the Nexus, of course. And we probably can't lose anymore, if we're being completely honest. No. Plus Teferi. So I get to activate Azcanta and then Chemister's Insight. Cool. Just discard this fog. We don't need it anymore. They're just dead. Apparently they're very dead. We have determined they are in fact very dead. we have a lot of Nexuses, Alex, not gonna lie. A lot of Nexuses over here. Start queuing up some turns. We don't even need to Teferi ult, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, this just speeds things up by a few turns. Oh, we have so many turns in the bank right now. We have a number of turns. It does indeed appear that we have won. Our deck tried as hard as possible to make sure we didn't, but here we are. Classic Azcanta triggers. Alright, we probably have enough turns queued up. Sure, we'll find out soon enough. Yeah, I wish they did, Milkman. I wish they did. It would make this situation considerably smoother. I think next turn I'm gonna try and take an extra turn just in case. Ready? Azcanta's my favourite card in the deck. Azcanta is so absurd. Like, this game, Azcanta just won the game on its own. Right? We just, like, activated Azcanta 3 times whilst they were killing our Teferis. And they could no longer win. Oh, that's fair, Caius. Sorry. Think Caius is being sarcastic. Quite possibly. It seems not improbable. Alright, well... Our deck tried as hard as possible to make us lose that one, but here we are. I think I just want Knight of Autumns against their deck and nothing else. Maybe a couple nights. Whatever, this seems fine. You get 2 extra turns, Dab. It like queues up the turns for you. I think they'd still be awful regardless, Stephen, if we're being completely honest. Get down the tap land first, since we don't currently have a forest or island, forest or plains rather, for the Sunpetal Grove. Ooh. Nice one. Well, that means they either have another Rasker in hand or they have, they're looking for lands there. I think I'm just gonna ditch my knight for now. If they play a Spyglass, we can find a knight later. Yep, they're just looking for lands, I guess. Unfortunately, we don't actually have anything to do this turn now, because I ditched the knight. Oh well. Alright, go to 12. should be on enough life still that we get to draw 2 next turn. Go like draw 2 into Rafu. I'm gonna take 8, go to 4, but then like clear their board up. Just need to hope they don't draw any duress, and then I think we're in a decent position this game. Even if they like trophy our Teferi, we have a bunch of card draw available to us. Wow, they're playing around Settle. That's going to make this Wrath even more punishing. It means they're not going to be able to build up a lethal board immediately afterwards, most likely. Draw 2. I could go Teferi plus Fog this turn, I guess. I think I just want to Nova them, though. I think that works out pretty well for us. If we Teferi plus Fog, we do have to discard, which is not the best. This is like the best that a Nova is ever going to look. Teferi's probably going to trade with a kill spell anyway. They probably have at least one kill spell for Teferi, but... Ugh, they have the duress. Disgusting. Oh, we know what they're drawing this turn, I guess. Yeah, they get to sack a land to draw the duress. This is gross. Goodbye Teferi. It's really awkward too. The Vraska's so good against Azcanta. Is the problem. Vraska is amazing against Azcanta specifically. Like in this matchup, if they have a Vraska, you kind of have to set up like Search plus Nexus on the same turn. Vraska's good against this regardless. She's so good against Gift of Paradise as well. I've been really impressed by Vraska. So I'm just going to draw 2 now, in case I draw a Charter Course. It's not very good. Alright, go to 3. Oh wow, they're just happy with all their cards at the moment. They have 3 cards in hand and they didn't want to sack anything. It means they must have like a bunch of kill spells for Teferis. Yeah. Our hand is kind of terrible at the moment. We're just flooding out on fogs. I guess I gain life? Like kind of using Night of Autumn as a fog. They have a lot of ways to deal with it, but it's also just like the single best card in the deck. I guess Teferi is the single best card in the deck, but there are plenty of games where Search just wins the game on its own. Alright, now that they've ultimated Vraska, I get to run out Search, which is great. This is what I wanted them to do. By ultimating Vraska, they can't immediately downtick on our Search. So we have a chance of keeping Search in play. so we're discarding the island. Then we have 3 to activate this, plus 6. It's not quite Nexus mana. But we get to keep a backup fog, which is nice. Okay, that one is fine with me. Freebooter is less fine with me. That's a decent one. Maybe we'll get to die to the emblem trigger and... that doesn't work, right? You die to lethal damage before the emblem trigger kills you. Alright, so now I get to Fog, activate Azcanta for my next turn. Because I don't want to activate Azcanta now, because depending on what they do here, they can steal the new card from my hand with the freebooter. Alright, I can fire this off. End of turn, activate Azcanta, start looking for Nexuses. Hope they don't have Assassin's Trophy in their hand. If they don't have Assassin's Trophy in their hand, we're honestly in an okay position. Right. It's not the best find in the world. Let's just start with Azcanta. See if we can find a Nexus. Damn. I mean, I guess that's a good one. It's like not terrible. Keeps us alive for a turn. But Nexus would have been dreamy. Like now they get like 3 more looks for an Assassin's Trophy, which is problematic. So we really need them to not draw a Trophy. Trophy is the one card we care about here. Anything else just does nothing, but Trophy can end the game. Alright, let me untap, please. Shit. Oh my god. That's so strong. Jeez. Oh my lord. I don't know that we can actually win anymore now because of that. I guess I have to hold the Nexus. Because otherwise, like, Search isn't an out. Because I need back-to-back turns for Search to be an out, because I need to flip it through the Vraska. Alright. We need Teferi. Yeah, Teferi also works, for sure. But they could have Contempt up. But Teferi does some amount of work. Right. We need a Teferi or a Azcanta here. And then we need to hope they don't have too much interaction. Nope. Oh, no, I meant to hold that. I've got Charter Course in my deck. That was really bad. We could, like, Charter Course into good stuff. And want to discard the land. Never mind, we're just dead. The Assassin's Trophy was really strong. Assassin's Trophy is very, very good against this deck. Because it means these sorts of decks have a lot more answers to your Azcanta once it's flipped. And they're much more able to just, like, slog through Teferis one after another. kind of unfortunate. Archaeologist is just heinous against Vraska as well. Vraska is just an incredible magic card. I think she's being kind of underrated. I've heard lots of people naysay her, and she just looks amazing to me every time I see her played. Knight of Autumn is not good in this matchup. I think I'm going to bring in the Archaeologists. Just to try and have enough card advantage against them. Maybe not all three. Maybe we do like this. Negates seem good. They seem fine. I don't know that I'd go as far as good. I guess they seem fine. Could bring in like a negate. They counter Vraska, which is relevant. And Duresses. Alright, let's try this. Okay, so we are on the play. Like, we can't mulligan this hand, but it's clearly not good, because we're not doing anything till turn 5. We can draw into stuff to do. Just, like, very hard to mulligan the Teferi heavy hand against the deck that's really good at killing Teferis. You just need, like, so many copies of this card against them. Against all their removal. Not bad. Yeah, hitting a lot of lands off their critters. Please give me the stupid untapped land next turn. Please. Alright. That's a freebooter. I guess it takes the Nova. Yep. Like, untapped land is so absurd because we don't even have to fog to keep our Teferi alive. We just, like, force them to attack down the Teferi, to use a removal on the Teferi. So we get, like, a clean 2-for-1 here. To, like, plow through their removal. Yeah, this is great. This is excellent. Right, I need to stop reading chat and talking so much because we have to win this game in 6 minutes, which is not easy. Alright, we don't have to fog because they can't kill Teferi anyway with their creatures. That's really brutal, as always. Reborn's so tedious. Alright, Negate is an amazing draw. Negate's actually absurd here, right? It's actually unreal. Don't know whether to discard the Teferi or the Pause. I think I'm just going to discard this in case they have 2 removal spells. They're going to get a Teferi of their own if we don't tuck the Eldest Reborn. It's kind of problematic. Like, I probably have to just tuck the Eldest Reborn, because their Teferi gets to tuck my Teferi anyway. And then they just get to attack down my Teferi. This is so bad. Like, now they can just have another trophy. Or Contempt. Anyway, I think we're still doing this anyway. Go for the fog. Hope they don't have it. Oh my god, they didn't have it, chat. They didn't have it. What is it like when your opponent doesn't have it? What is it like? Nexus. I really want to hit my land drops here. I guess Charter Course isn't that greedy. Cool. Yeah, Nova seems good. Agree. Doing our best impression of a control deck over here. I mean, they're going to take the Negate anyway. Yep. Okay. Nova can blow up the Eldest Reborn. That's a good point. I didn't think of that one. We need to keep fading removal. I also need to kill them really quickly. We only have 3.5 minutes left, but I mean, we're kind of doing it at the moment. Damn. That sucks. Yep. All right. Oh yeah, we knew it was coming from the top. You're right, you're right. I'm just having to play fast, so I'm like not keeping track of all this stuff. You're 100% correct though, that we knew it was coming. This isn't actually even lethal for Teferi, but I think I need to just do this because we need to ultimate Teferi really quickly because of time constraints. I also need to like potentially tuck this, right? Nexus, plus Teferi, yield until next end step. Cast Insight, draw 2. Alright. These. I need to get in 10 attacks somehow in 2 minutes. I don't know that we can do that, honestly. I should maybe have tucked this, just so I can start attacking this turn. God damn, this deck is miserable to play on Modo sometimes. Like, you just can't tap lands fast enough. Yeah, I can't actually win this game in time. Yeah, there are so many game actions in this deck. This is like such a awkward deck to stream. Because like I can't just like not talk and interact and stuff, but then like when opponents make you play it out 2 games in a row and you have like a game that you lose that goes really long, you just don't have, like, actually don't have enough time. It's really rare I actually time out with this deck, but the fact that game 2 went really, really long and we lost was like ate into our clock so much. I think we were basically 100% to win that game from that position. If not for time, but like we're about to take an extra turn, and then we get to draw like 4 more cards towards Nexus, and even if we miss, we probably still easily win. Because we have the Archaeologist going. Yeah, agreed. We 100% win that. I guess, Amy. I don't know. I feel like people aren't here to like watch me stare at the screen in silence. So I'd feel a bit weird doing that from that perspective. Alright. See if we can recover this league. I'm gonna turn the lights on. It's getting pretty dark now. Alright, we will go first. We will mulligan this awful hand. Right. This is way better. Got search on 2. Yeah, that's fair, Amy. That's fair. Get a focus mode banner and put it up when it's time to be quiet. Oh my god. How am I finding Turbo Fog? It's fine. I don't know. It's not great, but like every deck kind of sucks. I'm enjoying it. It's fun to play. Like, I enjoy it, it's fun to play, it's probably nowhere close to competitive. But like, none of the decks we've played have actually felt competitive, so... Other than like maybe green-white tokens. This deck feels good, green-white tokens, but it's really easy to prey on is the problem. Like, if people want to start beating green-white tokens, they will start destroying it, you know? Because it's like so susceptible to a bunch of things. This deck always feels like it's super losing until it takes 30 turns in a row. That is true. Oh my god. This card is really hard to beat. Just because, like, it's so hard to win without Search for Azcanta. Like, I've been losing to Knight of Autumn a lot too. That's like another reason I think this deck probably isn't anywhere close to tier 1 level, is Knight of Autumn is a really hard card to beat when people start main decking it. Just because... like, you just can't win games without Search for Azcanta very consistently. This matchup should be a buy, it's fine, but it depends how they build their list. If they have like 4 Knight of Autumns in the main, it's probably actually pretty even, just because you don't get to rely on search. Four, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Next time we have to start fogging every turn. Yep. They're playing around Settle the Wreckage. Prodigy. Like, now we have to fog every turn for the rest of the game. If we don't draw a Teferi, we're just gonna lose. Like, I know people say this matchup's really lopsided, but we've drawn very well this game. We drew an Azcanta, we drew some fogs, we've drawn, like, a reasonable number of lands. And we're still very at risk of losing if we don't draw Teferi immediately. We're just meant to Nexus. Probably, because then I can draw Teferi. And go Teferi into Fog. Whereas I can never go Teferi into Nexus with our land set up like they are. Search for Azcanta is legendary, and therefore historic, yes. I mean, we just need to find Teferi, so I need to dig as fast as possible. Alright, well... we have to Root Snare here, so we're not going to have the Time Walk to pair with Teferi, the Fog to pair with Teferi. So we still have to draw really well. We get a redraw due to the Time Walk. That sounds atrocious, Dab. Like, it only finds 7 cards from the deck. Just, the vast majority of the time that's gonna whiff and not find you a card. Well, not the vast majority, but like 50 or 60% of the time you're just not gonna find a card off board the Weatherlight. And then you're gonna be really sad. Like, you just play Anticipate if you want cards like that. Anticipate achieves exactly the same thing. That was a good draw. We need them to not have Tribunal now. If they don't have Tribunal, we're probably actually favoured. If they have Tribunal, then things get tough again. Alright, well, this forces the Fog. We'll set an upkeep stop just in case we untap with our Teferi in play. Somehow. They have Tribunal. Yeah, I mean, they have 4 copies in their deck. It's reasonable for them to have it. Now probably can't win. Caius has been running Mission Briefing and reckons it's pretty good. Oh my god. So I can go Shockland, Gift, and I'm 1 mana short of Nexusing. So I guess I just play this tapped and Nexus. So we have to Karn plus, hit 2 fogs. It's so improbable. Yeah. Oh. This is frustrating. Like, on paper, like, this is the problem. This deck's just not playable. Like, on paper... On paper, this deck should, like, crush a deck like green-white tokens, right? But... sometimes they just draw, like, 2 pieces of interaction and you get destroyed. You can't. I don't believe you can, Alex. I'm pretty sure you can't do that. But you can, it's like a fog card draw split card. If you play Briefing. Right, so we just want Night of Autumns for Tribunals and Spyglasses. How Gift versus Red-Black went last standard, where it was great unless they drew in a Braid, yeah. I mean, if they play 4, like, lots of lists don't play Night of Autumn, but if you play 4 main deck Night of Autumn, then you have, like, 4 Night, 4 Tribunal, you're, like, really likely to draw a couple pieces of interaction. To, like, either blow up Search, or Gift, or Steal or Teferi. All of which are really good for you. What am I cutting? Maybe. Let's try this. Like, we drew really well that game. Our draw was very functional. But they just had, like, a very good clock and a couple pieces of disruption, and that's all they needed. Right, this hand is amazing. This hand is excellent. If this hand doesn't get there, nothing will. We even have the Teferi in the opener this time. So we just need to find lands, basically. Yeah, this is awesome. So we want to keep the lands. I guess we're ditching at Fog. Feels kind of loose. Could also ditch a Search. It's like a while till Search flips anyway. Get a bit worried if they answer my Teferi, I then just have nothing going on. If I ditch the Search. But... Alright, second Teferi is great. They don't have a Night of Autumn here. Okay. They have the Reclamation Sage for our gift. So now we need to find the 5th land in the next couple draw steps. Cool. Their clock is also just a bit less scary this game, which is good. They haven't had time to sneak down a history of Benalia quite yet. Interesting. Alright, well... What's Teferi should do decent work. Hopefully they don't have Tribunal. I'd like to be able to untap with this Teferi, so that we can do some other things with our mana rather than just like having to recast Teferi. Opponent tanking. They're considering like whether they should attack first or not. So they should definitely be attacking first to force the fog out of our hand. That way they get like a because like we're not gonna fog if they attack us, right? So this way they get a resource out of our hand. You're just an elephant? That's so good for us. Jeez, they just didn't have it. Sometimes they just don't have it. Apparently. Once in a while they don't have it. Nexus, you say? Alright. We're kind of doing it. We have Fog to protect Teferi. Next turn we have a Nexus to start going off. Alright. Obviously just casting our Fog here. Keep Teferi in play. Even if they O-ring our Teferi, we get to like Knight plus cast Nexus, which is really nice. So like the O-ring just doesn't even do anything in terms of like slowing us down here, which is kind of great. Let's set an upkeep stop for this Nexus. It's not like 100% clear I even want to upkeep it. Because if I draw a search, I want to be able to cast it, which I get to do with the Teferi plus mana, but not otherwise. Likewise, if I draw a Charter Course, I think I'm actually just going to draw for turn before casting Nexus for those reasons. Just like the upside of drawing a search or a Azcanta that we can cast is so high, you know? There's no real reason to run out on Knight here, right? It's not like we can ever protect our Teferi with it. Cleansing Nova. Geese. I would like to introduce you, tokens opponent, to our friend Wrath of God. Alright, this is looking okay for us. They have to answer to Teferi before it goes ult. They also have to, like, build a board. Alright, ultimate my Teferi. Tap my mana correctly. Start chewing through some stuff. Yeah, opponent's conceded. Opponent knows what happens now. Cool, cool. Just run it back. Pretty happy with how we have this set up. The Cleansing Novas are honestly kind of great in this matchup. They're very nice tools to have access to. Sand is a keep. It's like a bit awkward, but it's definitely a keep. Centaur Peacemaker is so good against mono red Prodigy. Centaur Peacemaker is like legit there. Ooh, turn 1 on turn 1 flower. I thought they were gonna have the turn 1 landing. Wow, just no plays, turn 1 or 2. Just like giving us all the time in the world on them all to 6. Awesome. I'm very into everything that is happening right now. I'm a bit worried that if I just cast this, it's just gonna get knighted. I guess that like dictates what they do with their turn though. I'm not like entirely happy about this. They've already cast 1 knight, so there's a decent chance they have a second. We also get it out of their hand to like clear the way for a search. Yeah, much rather have them knight the gift than the Azcanta. Yeah, that's part of my thinking for sure. I think this time we're drawing 2. Because it uses our mana so cleanly. Helps us hit our land drops here, which is really important. Trostani. That's really good. Jeez. Gosh. You get to hit us for 8 now. Well, just gonna go ahead and cast my Divination. So we just really want to hit our land drops. It's really important. Now I can go Charter Course plus Chill for this turn. That's a good one. In fact, that is a good one. I think we know what we're doing next turn now. Oh, what the... I'm glad we have this Night of Autumn. Jeez. That's actually pretty nice. It makes our Uncomfortable Chill not do as much, right? Do we die if we Uncomfortable Chill? Take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm actually going to pause for reflection this turn. So I think I'm going to plan to go Knight the Immortal Sun plus Chill next turn, and then Nova the turn after. So I want to stop as much damage as possible here. Alright. So we get to go Knights, stop them drawing cards. Now we can hold up Chill. So we get to like chump the big knights. And we only take 1 then. Seems like if the Immortal Sun was really immortal, it would have Indestructible. Indeed. Whoa. That is aggro. That is an aggro Conclave Tribunal. Kind of respect that. Right, so now we take 3-4. I think that's fine. I get to draw a card out of it. Awesome draw. Just like completely unreasonable draw. I will admit these post-board games have felt quite one-sided. Our draws have been a bit stronger these games than they were in the pre-board one. Alright, so I lead with Azcanta, because I can find a Teferi then. Awesome. Opponent has conceded. Well then. Green-white 30 creatures bad against fog combo deck confirmed. So kind of 3-1. Like, we would have won this game had I been playing a tiny bit faster that match. So kind of 3-1-ish. See if we can win this final one. Break even on the league. Sounds very acceptable. I'm counting that as pressure, but I will try my hardest, Bobbin. I've been cashing less leagues than I'm used to. When we were playing Modern, like our last few days of Modern, it felt like I was 4-1ing every other league. But I've been struggling in Standard a little bit. Been struggling to find my footing in Standard. You actually don't. That's because you just free to every Modern league, right, Bobbin? It's true. People play a lot less meme decks in this format at the moment. People are in serious mode. Apparently. Mara. Decent. I kind of want that against their deck, but I also want land drops. So I'm just going to ditch it. Just, like, need to find our lands here. Awesome. Opponent just conceded? No, we're just lagging. It's like, that's an aggressive concession if they just concede to the discard, pause for reflection. Gross. I've actually enjoyed a lot of the recent standards, but I understand that I'm a bit biased because I was also winning a lot in a lot of the recent standards. Knight of Betrayal. My knight betrays me so much. So upsetting. Thought I raised that knight better than this. You just hated every game with Scrounger, that's fair. Scrounger and Bomat were fairly miserable Magic cards. Yeah, Teamer Energy. I really loved Teamer Energy. Thought Teamer Energy made for some good games. Even if it was, like, way too strong. Yeah, that's a fair point. I'm weird in that I don't mind 2-deck formats as long as the games are like interesting and engaging. Untapped land. God damn. Can't hold all these Teferis, and we're gonna die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Unless we're not currently dead on board. Unless they activate Fallen Lieutenant. So we might get to draw 2 here. You missed Traverse for Emrakul, don't we all? That was a format. The Traverse for Emrakul format was great. Despite what everyone else will tell me. So just gonna pump Lieutenant, right? Represent D4, yep. Force us to fog. Come on, untap land, please. Don't let us go down like this. I mean, it's a land on suspend 1 if they don't have a knight. Oh, that's true, Dock'n'Boy. Marvel was the low point. Marvel is the one deck I have truly hated in recent standards. I can't put into words how much I hated playing against Marvel. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, do we have to fog here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We do, exactly. Oh, we have to flip this to not die, so... Well, to Teferi, I guess. Woo! Haha! Wow. What's it like? I'm gonna Teferi plus first before we do this, but we've got a nice one coming next turn. We've got a nice one coming up. That was exceedingly poggers, Dokamoy. That was exceedingly poggers. You're doomed if I start giggling, you're not wrong. I do this in paper sometimes too. Can this green-white deck splash Duress? It probably could do. You make your mana a lot worse for that. You could probably splash blue as well. That's like another option. I guess splashing Duress is easier though, because you get 2 shock lands instead of just 1. Just gonna assume I have to cast this Root Snare. I've not really counted. Exactly. We'll run that line, Amy. We'll run with that one. No, my Teferi. However shall I win? Don't think I can possibly win without that Teferi. Just actually impossible. This is a clock. Jeez. Opponent's trying their hardest over there. It means they get to kill our Teferis easily too, which sucks. I think I'm still just cashing in this Teferi, right? Teferi plus, and then I get to activate Azcanta. If we draw a fog, we just like are in an amazing position. That's almost a tilt, except I still just want to activate Azcanta rather than getting the gift down anyway. but it's almost a tilt for not leaving up green. This is the most disposable Teferi I have ever seen. Do we die to Flourish? Flourish puts us to 1. Alright. Teferi down. Oh no. Woe is me. My heart will not go on. Etc. Nexus of Fate. Land. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can gift plus Nexus this turn, I guess. Right? 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. Just like develops our mana for the Nexus turn. That's an absurd draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we can't activate Azcanta and cast it, but we can Teferi plus cast it, right? Yeah. Awesome. Land is actually kind of great. Mana is our main constraint at the moment now that we have Azcanta online. Now you're interested in top deck classes again. I remembered how to do it, Dokamoy. It took me a while. Activate Azcanta. Grab this Nexus, apparently. So we can get down our second search as our Scry engine. And then cast Azcanta, and then cast Nexus end step. Scry. We're gonna be pretty close to infinite. We're like about 10 cards away from infinite. Once you're down to about 25 cards, it feels really hard to ever whiff. Opponent has disconnected. We're never going to learn about the end of Dominaria. The history lessons are hidden from us, Bobbin. Well then. Tense moment for the disconnection to happen, jeez. Opponent on life tilt, I mean, I would be. Cleansing Nova is so good in this deck. I've been really happy with the 2 copies we have against these token decks. It's so much better than Settle too, because if you settle them, they just like kill you with a March of the Multitudes. Because you give them so many lands. Good evening, Og. You've caught us in our last match of the evening. Though admittedly quite early in the match. You've also caught us with a disconnected opponent, which I'm sure is very exciting viewing. Having 4 mana open ever is really weird, Bobbin. Like, just Settle existing makes white control-y decks better, right? Just like, the fact it exists, you don't even have to play it, and people will play around it out of fear. What did we learn this stream, Prodigy? Oh, we can talk about what we learned this stream. That's true. And have we tried to make a blue-white control deck? We have not tried to make a blue-white control deck. The Guild Summit the control of Odd. That was delightful. Og. It was quite delightful. Next version of Guildgate control. There is no next version. Unless people really want there to be. So, we haven't tried to make blue-white control yet. I haven't played a blue-white control list yet, because I've just heard they're not great. I want to try out Jeskai, though. I think Deafening Clarion is legit. So, I'm interested in playing Jeskai at some point. Maybe even tomorrow. Like, just, like, load up a reasonably stocked Jeskai list and see how it feels. Because I wasn't very happy with Esper, but I think Jeskai has some nice things going for it, between Deafening Clarion and just having access to, like, different win-cons. Oh, you're okay. That's bad news, Bobbin. We played Esper yesterday, Og. I was pretty unexcited about it. Maybe it's fine. It feels like Esper is pretty good against, like, the current supposed tier 1, which is nice. But, it also feels really vulnerable. Like, yesterday, our Teferi got, when we were playing Esper, our Teferi got Ixalan's Binding, and we could just never win the game. And then, in a different game, like, someone boarded in Carnage Tyrant against us, which we could just never beat, because we had, like, 2 answers in the 75 to that card. Yeah, we got Hoatlied a lot with Esper too. Just like, you tap out for your ritual of Cert, your opponent untaps and plays a Planeswalker, and like, if you don't have a Contempt in hand, you lose the game. Which is really awkward. It's like very different from previous iterations of Esper. Because beforehand you had like 4 Contempt, 4 Gearhawk. So, you can like tap out to answer things, but you still have 8 answers to Planeswalkers in your deck. Whereas now, like, on top of Teferis, which are, like, kind of awkward answers. Whereas now, you, like, play 3 Contempts, because Contempt is a lot worse when you're not flashing it back with Gearhawk. So, like, you've gone from having, like, a virtual 8 copies of Contempt to having just 3. This like, makes Planeswalkers a nightmare. So much harder to beat than they used to be. Yeah, Jeskai is like that, but you never have Contempt. That makes sense, Bobbin. That sounds problematic. I don't know. I just found the Esper deck very frustrating. I'm aware there are lots of very good players who like it a lot. But I'm pretty off the idea of playing it for a little while longer. I quite like the idea of Blue-Red. Blue-Red has looked decent when we played against it. Because of Niv Mizzet. Niv Mizzet is just absurd. Like, Niv Mizzet's also great because it like answers Planeswalkers, right? You just like cast your Niv Mizzet, cast a couple spells. Standard Izzet Drakes. Let's take a look. See. I don't know that I played like this exact list. I wanted to try out some. I've seen like some more controlling lists do well though. I do want to play an Izzet list at some point, Dokomoy. Niv is good, Banefire is auto-win in the control mirror. Yeah, that makes sense, Bobbin. Honestly, Niv Mizzet is close to an auto-win in the control mirror sometimes. Yeah, for sure, Og. Like, the only way to get into standard cheaply is, like, grinding the free-to-play on Arena, which takes a while. I would like that Nexus, yes. Well, that probably makes things pretty close to deterministic. Now we get to activate Azcanta and cast our draw 2. Alright, I need to start playing quickly again, now that the opponent's back. Oh, we don't get to cast our draw 2, I'm stupid. I don't know how magic works, apparently. still, I think we're going to win this pretty easily. Just like binning anything that is not a Nexus here. Hey, found it. Now opponent is the one. I don't know. I highly doubt opponent is going to time out. We shall see, I guess. Opponent has conceded, in fact. By the looks of things. Just run the same boarding as earlier. What else did we cut? Oh, we cut a gift. Yeah. Seems good. Awesome. Come on, I want this 3-2. I'm like determined to get this 3-2. I'm really excited tomorrow to keep messing around with black-green decks. How the hell does tokens beat this deck? We lost a game to tokens earlier. It's like, you're pretty favoured against them, but sometimes your draw's a bit clunky, you don't find Teferi for a while, they like Knight of Autumn your search for Azcanta, and then like have a Tribunal when you finally draw the first Teferi, and then you just like get run over because you stumble a bit too much. Binding on Teferi, yeah, Binding on Teferi auto wins game 1. You can't beat it. Like, you're not actual 0%, but it's nearly unbeatable. You're like, if Binding resolves on Teferi, you probably win like 3 or 4% of those games. Like, the only way to beat it is like going off the hard mode of Search plus Nexus, which you can do against control decks convincingly. Like, you don't need a Teferi against control decks because the games go longer and they aren't pressuring you, so you're like not forced to find fogs. But against like an aggressive deck like the green-white deck, you just don't have enough time to go off hard mode. Yeah, that sounds about right, Oisnu. Also, what the hell, Chaos Wand? Oh, cast your Nexus. That's wonderful. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're totally doing that, yeah? That is a way for tokens to beat this deck, I guess. Alright, looks like we have a game now. I'm gonna keep this. I think turn 4 Cleansing Nova sounds great. Yeah, we have Knights post-board versus Binding, but pre-board we just don't have answers to it. Post-board Binding is like very beatable, if still very annoying. But pre-board you just can't deal with it, like at all. Alright, apparently we're playing a control deck this game. Just gonna like raff the board twice and cross our fingers. Might die before that point. Shana is a way for them to clock you very quickly. Like, if they have a Knight of Autumn here, we're actually kind of in trouble. Because Shana is such a fast clock. That deck is aggro, Snubhorns and Shanas. Yeah, Cleansing Nova deals with it, but if they Knight the gift, then we take 5, 6, 7 this turn. And then, like, they could easily represent lethal next turn by, like, hitting City's Blessing for the Sentry, right? Yeah, this works too. Like, they could kill us now. They could very reasonably kill us on turn 5. They only need, like, 1 permanent to kill us. Their whole deck is permanents. Yeah. died with 2 Cleansing Novas in hand, apparently. A bit embarrassing. Like, I said this was my fear, right? If they kill Gift, then Shana is how they can kill us in time. Before turn 5. Oh, that's true, yeah, you can answer Ixalan's Binding main board with the Nova. You're right. That is one way. But the thing is, their deck applies so much pressure, you just don't have time to do that most of the time. Alright, that game was not close to being close. Let's try it again. It's possible I want Knights and, I want Lyras in this matchup, but I'm not certain about that. I feel like a lot of the time they just end up getting O-ringed. I mean, this is not great, but I'm going to keep it. Has good mana, has a Cycling Fog to buy us a bit of time. I don't think you can, like, mulligan this hand even if it's not very good. Like, you'd keep this if you cut a land from it on a 6 very happily. So... Get the flower again. Ooh, this is a great draw. I mean, obviously there's a chance it just gets Night of Autumned, but... Shana's weirdly good against Uncomfortable Chill, huh? Means they get to still deal damage even with even through a chill. It's pretty nice. Please don't have Night. Just have some random mopey creatures. It's not like we have much to do with this extra mana right now, but... Okay. So now this time we get to draw 2. Most likely. There are quite a few mopey creatures. Indeed, shop. Hopefully they can't City's Blessing us with the Snubby. They can City's Blessing this turn. Like a Legion's Landing plus a Migration. I guess plus anything, huh? Oh my god, Prometheus. Imagine the answer to that is many standard formats. Though I do love me a Frost Titan. Frost Titan is a treat. Ooh, no City's Blessing. How is that real? Alright, just gonna take 7 here so we can draw 2. Damn, that's really good. Jeez. Okay. Back to square one. Means they're not killing the search at least. Which is pretty great for us. Get to go search plus chill this turn, and then like draw 2 plus fog. Just like hope they don't have another night here. It sounds that way around. Phil. Prime, Sun, Grave, Inferno, Frosty. Sounds about right. Yeah, I didn't get to play that standard. I never got the joys of losing to Titans in standard. Never got to experience those joys. Alright, let's just cast this chill. Make it a bit chilly in here. Nexus. Just flip search. I think I want to draw 2 instead though. This does help flip search. This means search flips next turn. I think we're going to be fine though. Now we get to draw 2 plus fog. I guess we couldn't uncomfortable chill here, even with this attack, because we died like a March of the Multitudes or something. Just Root Snare, and we're gonna get to Insight. I think I'm gonna be greedy and dump the land. Jeez. That's so strong. Damn. Alright. I mean... now that we've lost the search, we might just get rid of a Nexus. I don't know, I'm still going to dump the land. It's like really greedy, but I'm kind of into it. Now I'm going to cycle one of them, so that we can hit our land drop for the turn. For next turn even. Right. Do I want to chart a course, or do I want to hit one more land drop, dig one card deeper with my Nexus? I think I'm gonna dig one card deeper. Jeez, that's so good. So good. So we can Nexus again, so that if I hit a Teferi, I can start like drawing 2 off each fog. I'm probably meant to. It feels like pretty bad. It feels like I'm like, the thing is I can also just draw 2 here. Like a Chemister's Insight means I get to get more value out of my fogs too. It sucks. Am I meant to hold this? I have 2 charter courses left in my deck. I'm probably meant to hold it. Yep. Could lose this. Kind of struggling to find a Teferi. Both our searches got, well, our one search got answered. Yeah, we just haven't drawn many win cons, have we? We've drawn the one search which got claimed, and we haven't drawn any Teferis. Nice. Great draw. Less great draw. I mean, if they have an Oblivion Ring, we're actually in a lot of trouble. We really need to untap this Teferi to win this game realistically. Cast my Root Snare. Get to untap. Alright, we have lots of good draws here. It's not quite one of them, so we need a Fog, a Time Walk, or a Sweeper. Or just like more card draw to keep digging for one of those. Jeez. Oh my god, we're actually going to lose to tokens. It's so tilting. Losing to like the best matchup because this deck just isn't consistent enough without cycle lands. Like, imagine if we had cycle lands this game. If we had cycle lands this game, we probably get to cycle like 2 to 3 lands in this going off stage. So we find a Teferi like a turn sooner, or 2 turns sooner, which means we draw like 2 extra cards, and then we get to be like 4 or 5 cards deeper at this point. So we probably hit a Nexus, and then we just go off. Just like losing the cycle lands is really brutal for this deck, as we are currently witnessing. I'm probably just going to have to stop playing this deck on stream. It's just not consistent enough, sadly, as much as I love it. Just like losing cycle lands means you just like whiff so much more often. You're just a lot less consistent. Oh well. That was a sad end to the rise of Turbo Fog. I think the deck just isn't good enough anymore without cycle lands. Like, we essentially 3-2'd that league because we would have beaten the mid-range deck if we'd have beaten the mid-range deck if I'd been playing a bit faster. We were like 100% to win the game. I just wasn't playing fast enough because the deck is really mechanically slow. But I've just not been in love with this, sadly. What deck should the Knights be playing? I don't know, Prodigy. I haven't liked any of the decks we've played so far. Green-White's fine. Green-White tokens is, like, fine. And Mono-Red is fine. But neither of those decks are, like, feel good. They both, like, feel okay and reasonable. And, like, you'll probably 3-2 most of your leagues with them. But I don't know. We're still looking for, like, an actively good deck. I've just See-Through Mist. I do not know that card, Prometheus, off the top of my head. See-Through Mist. Oh, sorry. Card. No cards of that name were found. So, I do not know the answer to that question, because I don't know if that card exists, apparently. Should be playing a Psychic deck. Yeah, then our Mew would be stronger. Or Reach Through Mists. Why would that be better? Why would that be an improvement? Like, fuels Azcanta, I guess, but it seems bad. Tenjum Sultai List. Yeah, I want to try that deck out. I want to try out some Sultai mid-range. I also want to try out more black-green. I think black-green's, like, fine. I think once we find, like, a good black-green list, that might be a good deck. I do want to mess around with black-green more. Anyway, I'm going to head off for the evening. Thank you everyone for watching. Tomorrow, I think my schedule, my ads page is actually slightly out of date, but for tomorrow is going to be the same times though as today, so we'll be playing some black-green, and beyond that I'm not sure exactly what else. Might play some blue-red, might play some a Niv Mizzet deck maybe. Niv Mizzet seems sweet. But thank you everyone for watching. Hope you all have a good night, and I'll